Howdy there, YouTube. Just wanted to show you this custom knife that I mentioned in my VZ24 episode. Now, there's a lot of people that don't like when people modify bayonets. But sometimes you have a bayonet. This one had a broken tip, so this part of the blade was missing. So what value does it really have? I would say 0. So there's no real, need to protect something that really wasn't in that great a shape to begin with. I mean, if I really wanted to, I could turn this one into a knife too and not really feel bad about it because it's really not in great shape. What's its value? Maybe $20? So on this one, I made a guard, and if you notice, I inverted the blade, of course, because I don't want an upside down knife. But if you look here, I left the top T-bar and I removed this part of the blade under the fuller, so it gives it kind of a T shape, which is really kind of neat, kind of different. Gives it kind of a neat profile. Now the tip I left kind of like an HJ knife because I kind of like that, but I also know from handling several of them that having this design makes a really weak tip. So I don't know, I might reprofile it to a clip point, but I kind of like the way it looks. And then I've got this piece of shed horn. I've removed the back. I'll put something back there, but it needs to be stained, so I'll take some wood stain and I'll stain it back to a more natural color. It was just a small shed horn that I found, and it just seemed to fit the knife just right. And you can see I don't have any pins in it yet, which probably was a mistake. I should have probably put the pins in when I did the blade, ground the blade, but it should be okay. I'll get this fit in here a little bit better. It actually does snap into place. It's fit really well, but it's kind of hard to get it back apart, so I just have it kind of temped in place while I'm working on it. But the steel is very nice. It keeps a very sharp edge. One thing that it does not have is corrosion resistance. As you can see from most examples, they've got spots of rust and pitting and stuff. So you probably want to definitely keep it oiled if you're going to do something like that with these. And I didn't, forge. I'm not a forge and fire champion by any means. All I did was grind off and keep the temper by not over grinding it at one time. So for the sheath, I'm going to just use a standard sheath, probably one of these that I've used Bondo on just to try to see if it worked, which it did, but it's not the greatest. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut the center section out and solder it back together, braze it, I guess would be the correct term, so that this will fit in there without it being extra long. And that'll be something that I work on as time allows. So just wanted to show you, like people call them Billy Bobs or whatever, and I guess it all depends on how much work you want to put into it to make it into something decent. I mean, if you're just going to throw a handle on it, I guess that is kind of a a-hole move, but to make it into a really nice knife, I don't see anything wrong with it. It had no value to begin with. So, just showing you some of my projects. I mentioned it in the VZ24 video, so I figured I'd show you what exactly I was talking about. So, thanks for watching, and see you next time.